been a ball as always, because we always have a great laugh working on it, and it's kind of a privilege to be working with these actors of this ilk and the crew we've got on it. And it genuinely is. I know it sounds cliched, but we have so much fun on set that you feel guilty taking a paycheck. And Series 3, for what it's worth, from my humble opinion, I think it's our strongest thus far. And I'm not just saying that because I didn't say that last year. So I think Series 3 is up there and stronger than our strongest series so far, I think.
Without giving away any plot, what makes it better, do you
Well, I
think?
think we've had the return of the legend and the genius that is Brian Percival, who directed the first series. Well, he did the first episode and the last two of the first series, and he got BAFTA and the Emmy for it. And he's come back, and he was, in many ways, the vision that what we know with Downton, the long sweeping scenes, the cinematographer, is kind of his stamp that he put on it early on in Series 1, and that's kind of returned, that kind of the lovely, long tracking shots and stuff like that. I give it cinematic quality, almost like watching a film sometimes. And so I think he's a big part of that. And I just think everyone's obviously grown into the characters, and obviously Julian's knows how we've responded to his words now, and he's really writing for each character. And even though there's a lot of us, we get these lovely vignettes. Like most of this series is really some of the comedy and the vignettes that he's getting are just genius, and that's because Julian's responded to what Kevin Doyle's been doing, on screen, and started writing for it. So I think there's that as well. Everyone's growing into their roles.
There's always lovely tension in the servants' hall around the table, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, Julian really exploits that. I mean, even that scene there is funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's always something going on, and there's always somebody who knows and somebody who doesn't. So you have Mr. Carson there going, "What's going on? I need to," you know what I mean? And there's a scene between. There's a secret that Thomas has, and it's the cat's getting out of the bag, basically. I can't reveal too much yet, but
so
like you say, that tension.
How's he going, Thomas? When we saw him at the end of Series 2, the sort of life with the black market had failed a bit.
Yeah.
And he was,
in the Christmas special, he'd kind of winged his way back in by accident because he'd hid the dog, his lordship's dog, the purpose being to find it and then be the hero, and the dog went missing, so he panicking and looking for it all night, and the dog turns up unbeknownst to him, and then he comes back. He'd been through the bracken and the briar and the bramble, and his lordship goes, "What have you been up to?" He's like, "I'm looking for the dog," and his lordship sort of seen him in a new light. So he's wormed his way back in to Downton Abbey, and obviously not just that, been promoted because Bates is in prison, so he steps into Bates's shoes.
And does he feel he's got his feet under the table forever now? I mean, he must do.
Well, I think he does, and the kind of sort of wicked sort of creature that he is. I think he thinks Bates isn't coming back. I think he thinks Bates is going to the departing this mortal coil, and he's not too perturbed about it. So I think he's the cat that got the creep. And
how's his relationship with the master developing? Is that
with who? Sorry.
With
with his lordship. It's great. It's lovely to play. I've not played scenes with Hugh really much before, so to have them scenes going on, it's great to play. Just someone different to play opposite. You know what I mean? And we see with Thomas this year, for once, him and O'Brien, who are normally allies, fall out.
Really?
Yeah, and they become enemies.
I was just talking to Matt about Alfred. Now he's a new character coming. What's your relationship with?
Well, Alfred.
Alfred.
Alfred is O'Brien's nephew, and he kind of, Thomas sort of resents him, is jealous because Thomas has fought hard to get where he is because of how he is and stuff. He's always been an outsider and coming from the background, and he sees this young guy getting in and getting favours just because he's O'Brien's niece. Everyone helping him, and his kind of thought process is, well, no one helped me, so why should I help him? And he kind of sees this guy who's younger than him, who's already a footman, and been given favours, and he doesn't think that's right. So he sets upon Alfred to try and humiliate him by giving him misinformation and stuff like that, which leads to Alfred messing up and making a fool of himself. And then O'Brien, doesn't take O'Brien long to work out where this sort of malevolence is coming from. So then it's this one-upmanship that continues all the way through the series, and it just progresses worse and worse. What starts out as a little bit of a tomfoolery and a prank on Thomas's behalf, by the time we finish the series, O'Brien has left Thomas in a whole world of pain. really
well.
took it to a scary level of malevolence. Because she's,
That's
as
really
Bowie
turning the
says,
tables.
as
There's your
Bowie
chief
says,
ally, then.
she's Queen Bitch, and she's the cleverest and the smartest, and we find that out.
So who's Thomas's allies then? Is he out on his
Well,
own?
it was O'Brien, but now
where is
that's
he
it.
now?
It's gone. He's on his own. He's in a world of pain on his own. Yeah.
We're going to start to feel really sorry for him, aren't we?
Well, I hope so. I mean, he goes on a massive sort of emotional journey. He's manipulated by O'Brien into thinking, new characters coming in. She's saying things to him that they're saying, and she just basically manipulates him, confuses and disorientates him until he ends up a gibbering mess. Basically, is the best way I can put it.
What about? You must have had a scene with Shirley MacLaine. What's that been like?
The only scene I had was when she arrives at Downton Abbey. The staff waited out on the one side, on the left-hand side, and the family were on the right, and we waited to greet her in. And in rehearsals, it was just bizarre because she got out of the car and she was looking for someone, and we're like, I'd never met her, and she was like, her eyes stopped on me. Out of everyone was there, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And she went, it's you, the evil one. And she walks over to me, and this legend is walking over to me. I'm like, oh my God, she actually knows kind of who I am. She's like, the evil, and she came over and she was like, why are you so evil? Turns out she's a mass fan of the show. She was fascinated with her characters, constantly asking me about what's the deal with me and O'Brien. She knew everything about everyone in the show, loved Bates, and she was like a genuine fan of the show.
Jeez.
So there was none of this aloofness or anything. She just sat with us, chatted with us. She's like mad as a box of frogs in the best possible way. I mean, her stories about...
she's a real talker.
Oh, her stories about Elizabeth Taylor and Michael Jackson, for Christ's sake. I mean, you can't top them anecdotes. You know what I mean? What if I got to compare? I was putting a bit of... I was re-roofing my shed, and I nearly fell off. And that's nothing after she's come out with a Michael Jackson anecdote. So, yeah, just fascinating. And again, one of those pinch me moments on the job where it's a privilege for us to be here, to be written for by the Oscar winner Julian Fellows, to be in scenes with not just Dame Maggie Smith, but now Shirley MacLaine. Now, I wasn't in any of their scenes together, but apparently they're epic. The crew watched them, and these two heavyweights slugging it out. I mean, even on paper, the way they're written, they're just superbly written. So I can't wait, as a punter, to see them two go up against each other on screen. It's fantastic.
So are you still getting lots of funny reactions from the public?
Oh,
to
yeah.
you and your character. I know you've spoken about it before.
It's just brilliant because the whole show, the nations just took it to the heart, and it's this bubble and phenomena, and we don't know why. I mean, it's good, but it's just sometimes some things just get blown out of all proportions, and it's great. But then you get the celebrities jumping on the bandwagon, people talking about it on Radio 1, and it's just bizarre. At the end of the day, we're just actors, and we act, and the job you want to do, why I do drama, is hopefully I can move people, and people, when that's the best, when you get.
Well, Thomas has gone on a journey, hasn't
he?
Really, so that's good for you as an actor.
Oh
that's
yeah,
great for you,
I've been blessed with the storylines Julian's given me this year. I mean, and they're slow burners. They start in episode 4 and they culminate at the end of episode 8, and still go into the special. So that long burning, almost American style storyline, for me anyway, in this is just fantastic.
Well, I think as a viewing public, we're completely with the characters now. We know them really well, and we've got the ones we like, the ones we don't like. And this is one of the things that's made it so popular, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think in many ways, if you look at it, it is a workplace, Downton Abbey, and even though it's in the Edwardian times, people can identify with it almost as their workplace as well. Like there's always going to be people. It's no coincidence Thomas O'Brien were allies. They were having sick breaks together, and you find that at work, people who have sick break, whether it be in an office or wherever, they kind of bond. And then you have these factions in workplaces, like people who don't like other people and the bitchiness. So you have the corners where you've got Anna and Bates, and then you have the Thomas and O'Brien, and that's how it was. And I think people can identify.
It's really
with
interesting,
that.
really interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah,
because
it is a workplace drama, but in a rarefied sort of atmosphere.
Well, I remember Brian when he started in the first series. He'd done Clocking Off. He'd directed some of them, and he said he wanted that kind of vibe downstairs. That roughness, that edginess.
So we're back to the handheld camera. That's
steady cam. He wanted people dirty in the back of shots. So if you got a scene between two principals, he wouldn't just get supporting artists in the background. He'd get like actual principals in just to flash it, even if it's just to walk across the back of the screen, because that's what happens.
He just says, just do a bit of business.
Well, he
at the
says
back of
this
the
is
shop.
what's going on in the scene, and where do you think you're coming from? What would you be doing? Just do something, and they leave it very much to us. But it's great because you get that sense of a workplace that everyone's in each other's pockets and crossing in and out, and that's where he was going with it. I remember him saying that, and I think it is like clocking off, but Edwardian clocking off.
And so has I mean, we're in the 20s now, aren't we? Has
Yeah.
it made very much difference to downstairs? I mean, visibly, it hasn't a lot.
No,
Does it
because
feel very much different?
from the special, I think we're only a year on, so there's not.
Right.
There wasn't that gigantic a change really.
We're not suddenly in the roaring. I mean, we're not in the 20s, but we're not in.
We're not in the
running
middle
around
of
doing
like the
Charles-
jazz and
no.
the Charleston. No, that's like sort of 4 or 5 years down the line. So it's not that far removed from the Christmas special.
Oh, right,
really.
oh, right.
Yeah.
So I suppose we don't want to give away the sort of time sequence, but so we're gently into the 20s then. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's because I don't know. Maybe they're planning to do 20 series, and they don't want to. They'd have to start using prosthetics to ages if they went as quick as they have been going. So
I mean, it's funny because people talk. I know initially, I know Jim has said that he thought it was a 3-series drama. I mean,
Yeah.
I get the feeling people would be really disappointed if it did end after 3 now. I mean, do you feel it will go on and on?
Well, the thing for me is what I've read the series 3 and the special, and I genuinely think it's our strongest thus far. But I also think the story is still untold. It's got license to go on. They're not just doing it. If they did carry on, they won't be doing it for the sake of carrying on and trying to get an extra series out of it. I think it genuinely
Stories have got real life
yeah,
on their
yeah,
own.
and they still got places to go, and there's a lot of characters that we haven't seen the backstories of yet, and that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I mean, we haven't really seen Carson's backstory, his life, has he got family, stuff like that, that are yet unexplored. So much potential to go. So I think it would totally warrant another series and completely be justified. And yeah, I don't think it's a 3, and then I think it was started like that, but then this thing is it's got bigger and bigger, like a snowball effect. And it's evolved, and it's become something different to what it was at the start.